are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fabulous, fantastic Tuesday. I hope that everybody's doing extremely well. I'm super excited, as always, to be part of your week, getting it started, doing what we do best, which is helping you leverage your score. Are you nervous? Are you concerned that you're not meeting the financial understanding of your household, your business? If you are, I'm here to tell you, you have time to get it right, folks. You have time to get it right. My name is Tyrone Glover, and I'm the CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. This is your dressed down CEO coming to you live from my hometown of Yonkers, New York, doing what I do best, which is helping you get financially secure, stable, under control, doing all of the things that we need to do to make sure that you're going to be able to make it not just past this year, not just past the next electoral cycle that's coming up, but past that and beyond. I'm telling you, folks, if you know what I know, you are going to find yourself in a much better position. You're going to find yourself being able to navigate, manage, do everything that you're in your own power that you can do. I'm telling you. I know that a lot of you out there are still concerned about this debt ceiling thing. I know you're so concerned about this bank closure thing or this bank failure thing. Folks, I'm here to tell you, Yellen and Powell and the feds, whoever's in charge, who's ever doing what they need to be doing, I'm telling you right now, stop worrying. They're not going to let that dollar get hurt. They're not going to let that dollar feel any type of negativity. Now, we got Republicans who may, we got some Democrats who may, but I'm telling you right now, that's not where you should be putting all your thought process. You should be putting your thought process into last month, which was Financial Literacy Month. You should be putting all of your thought process into how can I start regaining some of my financial control? Well, as I told you before, and many times before that, I am a credit guy. I'm someone who loves the credit lane. That is my lane. I have perfected it. I have gone in and out of it so many different times. I follow the laws. I follow the regs. I make sure that I'm giving you the most up-to-date information about your credit profile because I come from the corporate world. I do things or have done things that most people will never get the opportunity to do. If you don't know Tyrone, I'm telling you right now, you need to pick up the phone, do what Erykah Badu has told you. Call Tyrone. Call Tyrone and get your stuff under control because I've been saying it and I'm going to constantly keep saying it. We got roughly about 16, 18 months to make it happen for us. 16 to 18 months to make it happen for you. That next political cycle will be here before you know it. And then once it gets here, again, you don't know what I know. There's a whole bunch of resources already pushed into that economy. And they want to make sure that we keep spinning them wheels. We keep spinning them wheels. Remember, COVID slowed down the wheel, and now we're back up, not to full speed, but we have recovered. And my question to you is, have you recovered? Have you made it to where you need to be? And if you haven't, these are some of the things that you're going to have to do. So let's dive on into it. We're going to finish off where we left off last week, talking about, again, financial literacy. We need to make sure that you are financially literate. And since I'm a teacher, and I teach right now 9 through 12, I'm asking that question. Why isn't financial literacy a K through 12 curriculum? Why is it not? I do not understand why we are not preparing our children for the real world. And the real world requires them to have a financial literacy understanding about how that money works. If you haven't, it's overdue time for you to get that book from my colleague and my best friend and my mentor, Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse, How Money Works. Don't be a sucker. Got to get that book. She's one of my greatest confidants that I always look to when I have other issues outside the credit lane. And it's a beautiful synergy that we have along with Soul City that's doing what it needs to do to make sure that our community has the voices and the authorities in those areas of what you need as far as your financial concerns and other great shows that are also here on Soul City Network. So let's dive into it, folks. Why isn't financial literacy a K through 12 curriculum? Well, I can tell you right now, if it isn't taught, it isn't. If it isn't taught, if it isn't tested, it isn't taught. My apologies, I had to get that correct. But yeah, if it isn't tested, it isn't taught. And that's something that STEM has to do a better job on recognizing and making sure that we're fulfilling all of those gaps. Again, K through 12 is preparation. If we prepare our children properly, they will go into this world far more equipped and adapt to do what is necessary for those employers. We keep hearing that, we can't find qualified employees. Well, I can tell you right now, for someone who's been in that realm for 30 plus years, I worked for 19 different companies, and I can tell you, my removal or leaving that area was not due to malfeasance. It was due to conflicts with personalities. And I don't mind working with people, but hey, if you're a CEO or if you're a president or if you're a CFO or you're even a manager, and that's your business, guess what? That's your business. I'm not there to go back and forth with you about policy of your business. I'm there to make you money. And if you want to make money, I'm that type of guy who can help you make that money. Go back to any of the businesses, ask them. They probably don't have the records any longer because of privacy issues and the length of time that I've already been out of there. But I'll tell you, any of my coworkers will tell you, that guy was good. That guy knew how to run a business. That guy knew how to make money because it's all about that dollar at the bottom line. Bottom line is all about that profit. And I'm not talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, these minuscule, those smallest amounts that individuals are now getting back. I'm talking about 15 and 20, 28, those types of percentage returns. That's what businesses want to see. I'm that type of individual because I don't demand, I command. There's a huge difference between that, and that brings in valued understanding from all parties included. So I'm bringing now that knowledge and that understanding to the academia world, and it's paying off to some degree, but I'd love to see it on a much larger level. But as I stated, we need to get this into the K through 12 curriculum. And once we do, I'm telling you, you'll have not only you have the trained associates, you'll have the well-adapted, well-equipped, savvy, smart, intelligent, financially stable associates that you could ever possibly want. So we're going to be talking about what is financial literacy, why isn't financial literacy taught in schools. We're going to come up with some solutions, and we're going to wrap it up by giving you the contact details so that you can move on with your day. The show goes so quick. I'm telling you, when I get involved and engaged, it's like, wow, this is like boom, 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 boom. And I want to spend some time on it. I want you to really walk away with a lot of valuable knowledge. Put some of those questions into the question block, and maybe we can hopefully get to those as well. If not, by all means, make sure that you go back to wherever you're viewing this from. If you're viewing it from Facebook, leave a question or two in the Facebook chat area. If you're viewing this on Soul City, which is on YouTube, make sure you go back and you leave a few questions in that YouTube area. We are everywhere, folks. It's so impressive to know that our people are doing what they need to be doing when it comes to our network. And Soul City is doing it. They're on Comcast, they're on Spectrum, they're on Roku, they're on Apple TV. Go out there, folks, and make sure that you are tuning in every single week. We are doing some amazing things over here at Soul City. So let's break this cycle, folks. There's a cycle of financial literacy, inherent cycle. We got to break this misunderstanding about children watch their parents making poor financial decisions and receive minimal teaching. Right there. I grew up in a household that was also equally financially strapped. I grew up as a foster child, not really understanding the not complexities, but simplicities of how money works, and even going to school, never really got that full understanding. So when I got money, it burnt a hole in my pocket and I had to spend. I'm now at a level where I still like to spend, but I'm doing it wisely and I'm doing it with more understanding. I'm using credit building methods. I want to say that one more time. Credit building methods. If you are not using that term, credit building methods, you are setting yourself up for failure when it comes to building a financial and stable understanding around your finances. You have to understand that. You have to start using credit building financial methods. All right. It's something that, again, the working poor and the middle class are not doing because we've never been effectively or efficiently taught what that is. And financial literacy covers those areas up. As you can see, as this screen moves back and forth, what financial literacy is. It's knowledge, it's currency management, it's cash education, it's wealth planning, it's management investment. There are a lot of moving pieces to financial literacy. And I'm not asking you to know everything about financial literacy, but what I am asking you to know is the basics. And then know people who know people who know people that would be able to cover all those other gaps that might be lacking. You don't need to know everything. All right? You don't need to know everything, but you need to know people who know people. It's just that simple. All right? It's not about what you know, it's about who knows you. So you got to start making these decisions. And once you do, again, it's going to break these cycles. Children internalize obsessed bad habits and develop limited financial literacy. So again, we have to make sure that our kids fully understand why mommy and daddy go to work, why mommy and daddy are using the plastic card. It's not a money card. It's not, we don't have money in the backyard. It doesn't grow on trees. These are understandings that we have to break our kids from because they think, oh, just grab the card. Just grab the card. It's on the card. Every time our kids go out, sometimes they think that they have to buy. We got to break that cycle. And the only way to break that cycle is obviously within the household, building and understanding better financial decisions, and also requiring from our academic facilities that they start focusing on the literacy of finances when it comes to that K through 12 understanding. Children become parents who have limited financial literacy. And that cycle, as you can see, it just keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going. I'm 50-something years old, and this cycle has been something that's been in my family and in my lineage for some time. I would love to break it. I'm breaking it with myself. I hope that with the family members that I've been able to help, I hope that they're slowly but surely breaking it as well. With my clients, I see it every single day with my students, how engaged they are, and they want to know about all of these understandings that come with financial literacy. And if we do our part, I'm telling you, if we do our part, we're going to reap the benefits. We're going to reap the benefits. It's just, it's inevitable. It is inevitable. Our buying power is tremendous. We spend like nobody's business. African Americans, Hispanics, we spend. We need to start thinking about how we're spending. You can still spend, but you should be spending along with making sure that you're securing as well. And you can still spend, as I said, but wouldn't it be smarter to spend at 1 or 2% versus spending at 18% or 20%, or spending when you're not using a financial building method? That's the part that I really want you to understand. If you're spending at 1 and 2% and you're using a financial building method, guess what that is? That's called a win-win. Because we keep thinking our attire is our win-win. When I get them new kicks, when I get them new duds, when I get that new brim. No, that's not the win. The win is how you purchased and whether or not you're getting a return on that investment. And if you're getting a return on that investment, all day long, I would let you go all day long. You got to make sure that you have enough also products that build. If you do not, I need you to reach out. I need you to reach out to Soul City Network. I need you to reach out to Leverage Credit Recovery. I need you to reach out to Dr. Yana B. I need you to reach out to anyone in your circle who understands financial literacy and start asking them, what are financial building products? They're not going to know because that's a term that just came up by Mr. Glover. And if they don't know, if they do know, kudos to them. But if they don't know, both you and that individual need to call Tyrone. It's just that simple. But we got to break this cycle. And once we break that cycle, we're going to start seeing the reward. So falling short, fewer than 2 in 10 workers have saved enough to replace the recommended 80% of pre-retirement income. That should bother you guys. It should bother anyone that we do not have enough in our pre-retirement that we can retire with a good understanding. That equally falls under the financial literacy piece. That falls under that. Is Gen X going to be okay? Are the baby boomers going to be okay? Are the pre-retirees going to be okay? And today, as I look at it, without having the financial literacy knowledge, they're not. As we earlier mentioned, or I may not have mentioned it earlier, but I was reading something earlier, and it was talking about the debt ceiling. And I know that's a big, huge conversation that's going on in the news. If it's not going on in your household, it's probably at the water coolers or it's within your working environment, that this debt ceiling. Oh, the United States can't default on its understanding. Well, first and foremost, you have to understand what that is. And if you don't, we're going to be talking about that in a later show. But I think everybody needs to understand the particulars behind what keeps the economy moving, thriving, and growing. And the United States, as we all know, we should never default on our obligations. Bottom line, if you don't understand that and you have done that, you probably have suffered the consequences of defaulting. That's part of financial literacy. You do not manage your obligations properly, there's going to be repercussions. And those of us who have not done that, again, learning. You're learning. It's okay. When you were born and you took that first step, or you got on that first bike, or you played that first football game or basketball game, and you hit the ground hard, that was a learning. If you twisted that ankle, that was a learning. If you fall short on a test or fell short on a run where you are passing the baton, or however that activity may go, if you fell short, that was a learning. Same thing applies when it comes to financial literacy. You got to learn, and that's what we do. So when it comes to that pre-retirement, folks, again, are you one of that 2 in 10? Or are you someone who's concerned as to whether or not you're going to have enough for retirement? Well, I can tell you right now, our K through 12 youth, they're concerned. I'm concerned, because if they go 50 years like I did without having that financial stability, without having that financial security, without having that financial knowledge, then we're just repeating a cycle that must be broken. It's just that simple. Must be broken, folks. All right, so what is financial literacy? Financial literacy is the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, including personal finance management, budgeting, and investing. Boom! Did I knock it right out the park? Did I knock it right out the park? That was a grand slam. That was the three-pointer from way deep. Okay? That was that Hail Mary pass, and I jumped up and snatched it right out of the air. That's what that was. That's literally financial literacy. The ability to understand and effectively use. Now, you have to use what you understand. Just because you get the knowledge and you hold on to it and don't apply it, what good does that do? Not only should you apply it for yours, you should make sure that you're sharing it with others within that household. Again, as I told you before, you are the CEO of your household. If you manage your household properly and understand how that dynamic works, you as the CEO controls that understanding. Your children are your investments. I just found out something that you can hire your children and get up to 10, I think it was 12, almost $13,000 back if you own a business. Look into that. That's something that I didn't even know. So if you have children and you want to capitalize off again, having them, well, you can hire your children and they can work for you. It's just something that I found out just recently, and I'm going to dive into it a lot more just to be able to do a show that actually covers that understanding. But again, teaching our children financial management, budgeting, by using credit building methods. You're able to budget more effectively because what you're going to do with those credit building methods, you're going to allocate those usages to something specific. Do it on a cycle basis because now you're dealing with algorithms, you're dealing with AI, you're dealing with a lot of computers now, and those computers are being programmed by the entity. You think they're programming it to help you? No, sorry to again bust that bubble. They're not doing it to help you. They're not doing it technically to hurt you, but they're doing it to make sure that their business thrives, that their business is profitable. And you as the CEO of your household, shouldn't you be doing the same thing? Absolutely. If you're not, my job is to make sure that you understand that you must. And my job is to equally make sure that you have the tools to be able to do that as well. All right. So again, think about your financial literacy. Are you? If you're not, well, then you need to get financially literate. If you are financially literate and you have not checked off all of the boxes, then you need to make sure that you're talking to someone like myself or talking to someone else if you have a major concern about whichever one of those boxes may not have been checked off for you. Investments, insurance, wills and testaments. I mean, there's so many components to financial literacy. It's almost unbelievable how many there are, but that's why I go back and tell you, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody that can help you. Just that simple. We are a global society and we stay so isolated in our own silos that we forget we can benefit from each other. That's why I do what I do, and I do it every single Tuesday and Saturday at Yonkers Public Library. So get on board, folks. This is the year of you if you want it. We know it's the decade of the women, and I'm celebrating all women. Every single last one of you, you have rocked it like nobody's business. So proud of the women in CEO positions. So proud of the women in leadership roles. I am super excited about Kamala Harris. I wasn't crazy about her in the beginning when she was in California as our DA. I didn't really have a great fond appreciation of her, but she has now stepped up to the plate and has knocked it out the park. So I'm super happy that Joe Biden had made her his vice president. I can't wait to see how her future progresses as she continues to lead the charge in reproductive rights for women. So as a black male who has always appreciated the understanding that I came from a female, it's overdue time to let females lead men. It's overdue time to let females be out in front, men. And we don't need other females denigrating other females. We don't need other females chomping at the heels of older statesmen. Let these men do what they need to do. And in due time, hopefully the ones who understand, you know what, it's time for me to step to the side as I have. It's time for us men to step to the side and let those who have more compassion, more love, more understanding move to the forefront. And if you don't understand that, call your boy and I'll take care of it for you. I'll make you really understand. So I just wanted to get that out there. But again, financial management, budgeting, using the proper financial building methods. Again, I'm going to say that one more time, financial building methods. If you're not, by all means, reach out. And then that investing piece. That investing piece is, woo, I'm here to tell you folks, if you're not investing, you're missing out. You are missing out. You are missing out. You are missing out. If you're not investing, you're missing out. 60 to 70, 80% of African Americans and Hispanics, middle class, working poor, you're missing out because we don't possess the knowledge and the skills about what it comes to when it comes to investing. Your 401ks are getting hammered because you didn't know what you were getting into. You just followed the protocol. Oh, the boss and the company and everybody said, get the 401ks and then we're going to be rich. What panned out? Not very lucrative for those who got involved in it. But again, I'm not here to bash it. I'm not here to demean it. I'm not here to do any of that. I'm here to tell you, you need to know about your investments and your savings. You need to know more than you do know, because this is the reason why you're being subjected, and this is the reason why 2 out of 10 people are not able to retire in the manner in which they should or could. COVID had made me smarter because I'm someone who I like that isolation. I love the fact that I'm able to continuously learn even in isolation. I love learning, even though I didn't appreciate it when I was younger, but I love it now as an adult. And that's why they call me the authority when it comes to credit. That's my lane. And as I said, I perfected it. I've made it better for my clients, for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my neighbors, for passive buyers, for every single person who wants to know about what they need to do when it comes to credit. All right, as people become more aware of their far-reaching consequences of financial literacy, one question becomes obvious. Why isn't financial literacy taught in school? This is a fair question as one considers the repercussions of financial ignorance and advantage of knowing about personal finance. The question becomes increasingly important. Perhaps it's less important to point fingers and blame schools for missing this obvious necessity of knowledge and to focus on moving forward so schools do begin to teach financial literacy. That's all I want. I want to see this in the most vulnerable areas of our society so that those individuals can capitalize off their understanding of money. It's going to create generational wealth. It's going to allow for individuals to finally see that rainbow, that golden pot at the end of the rainbow, to finally see the light at the end of that tunnel. Instead of asking, why isn't financial literacy taught in school? Let's ask, how do we get schools to teach financial literacy? It's not that hard. Our superintendent is going to be making a short removal or dismissal here. He's going to be leaving, moving on to better and brighter things. And I hope that the next individual coming in, they will also want to know and ask that question. How do we get schools to teach financial literacy? It's not hard. It's not challenging. What it is finding the right engaged individuals that can speak effectively to the subject matter. You just can't go get somebody who, again, I always listen to these individuals on CNBC. I listen to Fox Business. I listen to all of the business channels, and I really am engaged in our politics, in our business, in our social economics. I'm engaged in a lot of the things that I wasn't engaged in 5, 10, 15 years ago. And now that I am engaged and wiser and have done what I needed to do to get a better understanding, I'm still short on the fact that we're not doing what we need to be doing by everyone. Everyone. Something as simple as financial literacy, simple. Nonprofit organizations that do not have financial components. Why? There's grant money out there for you to have a financial component within your nonprofit, and you don't have it. Why? If you don't and you need to, we need to talk. We need to start figuring out ways where we can develop and build our entities within our own already established organizations. It's not that hard and it's not that challenging, but I'm commanding upon everybody now. Let's do what we need to do in these short 8 months that we have now in this year. And then as we reach that November time frame, in that next political cycle that's going to be coming up, that we have fully addressed our concerns when it comes to this subject matter, and that it becomes part of the 2023, 24, and beyond academic curriculum. We have to make sure that our kids have these basic skill sets. If we do, I'm telling you, the win-win is there. The win-win is there. All right, so 1 in 5 teachers feel qualified to lead a financial literacy class. That's a little bit low, but again, 1 in 5, I'll take those. I'll take that because we can teach. Teachers teach. Teachers educate. So we can teach our peers to be able to understand they're already spending money. Teachers are already someone who has households, someone who understands that, hey, you know what? I got to get to work back and forth. How am I to get back and forth to work? Am I using credit building methods or tools? If I'm not, then I need to understand how that actually impacts. 1 in 5, we can bring that up easily. We don't have enough instructors to teach financial literacy classes. I would have to disagree with that. We do. We just have to make sure that they are literate in the subject matter in which they're teaching. And a lot of us are already, because we are spenders. We're already out there spending that bread. We're already out there doing what we probably shouldn't be doing. All we just need is to reel it back and start correcting some of those things that we're doing that is impacting how our money works. Financial literacy isn't part of the ACTs or the SATs. If it's not tested, it's not taught. Remember, I said that at the very beginning. If it's not tested, it's not taught. So we need to get with STEM to make sure STEM understands we have to add this as part of our reading and our English. We need to add this part of our math. Financial math is good, but them social skills that build that financial understanding is only going to enhance the financial math. It's good to know about budgeting. It's good to know about accounting. It's good to know about record keeping, but it's equally as good. Those 3 that I just mentioned, that's for a business. It's equally important to understand about how your own money works. And that's where financial literacy comes in play in the largest of roles if we start applying it to that K through 12. Oh, we need to teach kindergartners all about money? We don't need to teach them all about money, but they should know what pennies are. They should know what nickels are. They should know what dimes are. They should know $1 and a $20. They shouldn't get fooled like we were when we were growing up, or even today. One of my relatives or one of my nephews and nieces, again, this is a long time ago. Oh, I'll give you this $1 or I'll give you 3 of these dollars for that $1. But they're not clearly indicating to the younger brother or sister that that $1 is a $5. So if I give you 3 singles, and then I exchange your 3 singles because I think that's more money when in all actuality it's not, then guess what? That's already bad behavior. That's a cycle that we need to break. Because the younger one should be looking at the 5 going, wait a minute, that's 3, this is 5, you're 2 down, you give me 2 more, and I'll do the exchange with you in that manner. So we can teach our kids whatever we want to teach our kids and how we need to teach our kids. So this is all fine and dandy, but I wanted to highlight some of those importance of if we started doing the right things, the ACTs or the SATs. We need to start looking at those social engaging topics of financial literacy that can help build our youth to a better financial future. Education is up to the states, not the feds, and each state has a different idea. I get it, completely get it, but it's not that challenging. It's really not that challenging. If each state decided to say, hey, you know what? We're just going to teach it. We can find one curriculum that could work for all if we just teach it. If you want to do something different in your state, you want to do something different in the other state, that's perfectly fine. But you got to get on one accord that we have to teach it. And it needs to be taught so that we see the return on the investment. That's our ROI. That's a simple business understanding, return on our investment. Simple understanding. There isn't much agreement as to which financial concept would be taught. Really, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter. You can start from the basics of pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, dollars, $5, $10, $20, and then move your way gradually through as they go from grade level to grade level to grade level to grade level. It's easy. It's so simple. It is so simple. The basics are the basics. Just like getting up in the morning and going and brushing your teeth and washing prior to putting on your clothes. That's the basics. The basics are taking a shower and refreshing the body prior to putting on something clean. That's the basics. This is what financial literacy is. Clearing out all of that garbage and focusing on what is essential to making sure that our children have. Our children are most vulnerable, our seniors. Our seniors are not too old to understand the importance of financial literacy as well. They're not. They're the ones who brought you into existence. They're the ones who gave you, unfortunately, maybe some of those bad habits. It's now time to make sure that they're being taken care of as well. As a single person, it's shocking to know how much I'm able to capitalize on. My taxes are through the roof because I'm a good earner. So I end up paying way more than CEOs, way more than families. It's like single people, all we do is we get our funds and the majority of it, or a good percentage of it, is taken in taxes. But I'm cool with taxes. I'm cool with taxes because I know where they go. They go for roads, libraries, all of the things, the public parks, the things that we don't see, that's where a lot of our taxes go to. Now, obviously, our taxes are not being spent in the most effective of ways, and we can tell by looking at some of the potholes in our cities, some of the crooked and jagged-edged sidewalks, and some of these parks in which they're now, at least in Yonkers, they're starting to improve, but there's still a lot more work that needs to be done. So financial literacy across 5 generations. Individuals typically begin at adulthood with low financial literacy, and while it increases over time, financial literacy nevertheless tends to remain low. So look at the numbers. Gen Z, Gen Y, Gen X, baby boomers, silent generation. So silent generation were the creators. Those are the individuals prior to me. I believe I'm in that Gen X category, but look at those numbers. 55%, 55 baby boomers, 49, 48, 43. Those numbers are nothing to rah-rah about and shish boom bah about. They're not. Those numbers are abysmal. Would you get into an airplane, or would you get into a car, or would you get into any type of moving vehicle or transportation method that had results or percentages like that? You probably would be very, very skeptical of that understanding. So we need to make sure that the vehicles that we're putting our children into are more in a range that is effective. 70, 80, 90% is what we should be striving for. If we're not striving for that, that means we got a lot more work to do. So Gen Zs, you got at least another 30-something points to hit to get to where you need to be. Call Tyrone. Gen Y, you still got at least another 22 points to be where you need to be. Call Tyrone. All right. Gen Xers, same thing. You got some percentage work that you need to be doing. So pick up the phone and call Tyrone. Baby boomers, what's your problem? What's your problem? 55, that's not a good number. Call Tyrone. And silent generation, our seniors, you need the help. We want to help. So, as I said to the other generations, call Tyrone. There are a host of reasons why financial literacy isn't taught in schools. The answer is general failures of the education system to identify the most relevant skills students should possess. The most relevant skills that students should possess. All right, the basics. When you start working, what's one of those things that you're going to get? You're going to get a paycheck. And of that paycheck, what's in it? There's going to be some deductions. There's going to be things in there that you're not clear with. Shouldn't we be teaching how you read your paychecks, how you understand it? Or do you get it like I was watching, and I mean, I was cracking up. And if you do get the opportunity to see this, go to Instagram. There's this young man, he had gotten his first job, and this guy was so excited. I mean, the family was in the car, and they would take him to get that paycheck, and he was just like bouncing around, had this huge grin on his face. He was excited, as you should be when you get that first job, when you're going to pick up that first paycheck. But what he was disappointed by is when he opened it, you could see the laughter, that smile. You could see how it was just shrinking and shrinking and shrinking as he was looking from item to item to item to item to item, and was found out that that paycheck that he thought he was going to get was taxed. And he was so upset. He got out the car, slammed the door, and was like, I want to quit. I don't want to work anymore. Well, guess what? Had we did what we needed to do in that K through 12 understanding, I guarantee you that child would not have had that look on his face. And I'm sure some of you parents have also experienced it as well, whether you experienced it yourself or whether you experienced it from one of your children. So while some points to underfunding as a response to the question, the STEM program, which expensive computers and lab equipment, but cannot find room in the budget for financial literacy. Again, STEM programs with expensive computers and lab equipment, but cannot find room in the budget for financial literacy. Help me understand that. You new boards coming into existence, help me understand, how do we help you help our students with making sure that this one key element is part of the now moving forward 2023, 24, and beyond curriculum. If you do, I'm telling you, the win-win is going to be there. It's going to pay off. So the things that make you go, All right, so as I stated, solutions, folks. The solution is that we have to break the cycle. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Poverty and lack of education forms a vicious cycle. Lack of education, lack of opportunity, low income, hunger, poor health, and living conditions. Again, cycle. Look at the cycle. Look at the cycle. This is not an imaginary cycle. This is a cycle that we see and experience every single day. Lack of education. I'm a teacher. I'm in school, so I see what goes on. I'm not saying every school is failing or every student is failing, but there are things that we can do to improve, and we must listen to the operators. If you're not going to listen to the operators, why are we there? I get that we have to have a command structure, but that command structure also has to listen to those in the trenches. I am a soldier. I'm a veteran, but I was a soldier. I understood that I had a hierarchy and I had command and I had individuals that were giving me my instructions. But I also, and they also understood, well, if we're going to put you in a position of authority, then we're going to have to listen to you. My commander, when I was a 76 Yankee, he understood, well, this guy's in control of all my inventory. So I better listen to this guy. If he's telling me what's going on, I better have some understanding of what his role is. Now, if he's screwing up, then of course I'm going to have to replace and get somebody else. But that's never the case when it comes to this man right here, when it comes to Tyrone Glover. I don't do that. I'm about an accurate understanding of how I'm supposed to perform. And as I stated earlier, never had very many disciplines. Never, because I'm all about the accuracy of the work. I'm committed to the work. I'm committed to the job. I'm committed to the client. I'm committed to the student. I'm committed to the family. I'm committed to myself first and foremost to make sure that I go out and I perform every single day. And that's why I say, dress down CEO. I'm all about the dress down approach to making sure that we're delivering upon the expectation of those that must receive this valuable knowledge. And if we do our part, if we as an academic community, as we as professionals, as we as leaders do our part, then we're going to be able to solve whatever problem that we might be faced with. So the cycle of poverty, illiteracy, all right? Being illiterate, whether it's illiterate in reading, illiterate in math, illiterate in finance, illiterate in business, illiterate, period. We have to break that cycle of illiteracy. Access to fewer opportunities. We can create more for ourselves because we've done it before. I want to bring you back to Black Wall Street. Now, you all know about 1921. Okay, if you don't know about it, go back and read, go back and do your history. We've done this before. We've been there before. And we can do it again. I'm calling on the Jay-Z's. I'm calling on the Busta Rhymes. I'm calling on the Jada Kisses. I'm calling on the rap community. I'm calling on the Dr. Dre's. I'm calling on the NBA. I had a great conversation, or not I, but we had a great conversation just recently with my brother's keepers, who I'm so glad to be a part of. Thank you, Yonkers Public Schools. Thank you, Yonkers community, for investing in our youth of color, our males. We now have a new organization called Equally, our Sisters Keeper, which I'm, again, so grateful to all of those leaders who have now realized that it's going to take a community to build ourselves out of these hardships. So thank you, Yonkers. Thank you, neighboring communities, for what you're doing in making sure that our youth of color have now the fortitude and the professionalism to make sure that they're going to be okay in all aspects of life. So the access to fewer opportunities, low income employment. That's another thing that has to change. The federal government has the minimum wage still at $7.25. Now, I get it. I understand East Coast, Midwest, Central, West Coast. I get it. There's a lot of things that has to do with waterways that make it a little bit more lucrative to live in certain areas. I understand it because you have ports, and those ports bring in all the supplies. I get it. You're talking to a businessman. You're talking to somebody who committed 30 plus years to 19 different companies, and every single one of those companies capitalized off my professionalism, off my ability to go into an organization, recognize the problem, come up with solutions, solve that, and keep it moving while we're making a profit. I'm that type of guy. I'm that type of an individual that doesn't play when it comes to the responsibilities that are entrusted in me. And all I'm attempting to do is make sure that you know it, that you can build your trust for yourself. Again, you do it for yourself, you're going to be fine. You do it for your home life, you're going to be fine. You mimic that behavior when you go into your workplace, you're going to be fine. The opportunities are not going to stop. They're just going to keep coming. They're going to keep coming. They're just going to keep coming. They're just going to keep coming. All right? It's just that simple. And the federal government has to look at, again, you raise the minimum wage. Don't put all the onus on the business. Don't put all the onus on the states. You raise it, own up to it. It's going to pay off. But even if you don't want to do that, let's focus on getting financial literacy into the schools and let us professionals help those who have a talent, those who have a skill, those who have a niche. We're letting the gig economy come in and do whatever it needs to do. We're letting a lot of these financial institutions that are failing, we're letting them come in and do what they need to do. They're capitalizing off bailouts. We don't need a bailout. What we need is we need you to get up off our necks. Thank you, Reverend Al, for that one. But we need you to get up off our necks and let us do what we've been commanded by a much higher power to do for our people. And limited access to resource resulting in poverty. Okay? We need to change this. These cycles need to be broken. And I am one of those individuals, along with a bunch of opportunities that have been presented before me, are here to do. Soul City Network is an opportunity that's giving me the platform to be able to convey to you the importance of meeting individuals like Dr. Yana B, meeting individuals like my good friend Antonio Kenyatta, meeting individuals like Jason Swanson, meeting individuals who have a lot of pull and say so. So now I want to meet other individuals. I want to meet other individuals who have the abilities to say, hey, you know what? I like the way you speak. I like the way you talk. I like the way you are when it comes to how you present your information. Could you do a workshop for me? Could you come to our church, which I'm very grateful to the opportunity that I'm going to be at a church this Sunday coming up. They saw me at one of the Link events. And again, just giving and being given the exposure allows for us to do even more. So thank you, community. Thank you, Yonkers. Thank you, neighboring community. Thank you, New York State. Because when I left here as a teenager, I had in my whole mindset that I am not going back to that place that treated me like a third world citizen when I was growing up. Didn't show me no love, didn't show me no respect, didn't show me no nothing. I said, I'm never going back to New York. Never going back. And look at me. Right back home because the good Lord said, son, you might have thought you wasn't going back home, but I'm here to tell you I need you because I've given you the skills. I've given you the knowledge. I've given you the vernacular. I've given you the talent. I've given you the understanding. I've given you the faith and the love and the blessings to go back to your hometown and do what I need you to do. He made me course correct a little bit because I got too comfortable. He said, no. That's not what I brought you here to do. So he made me recorrect the original plan to say, now I got you back on track. Now go out there and do what I need you to do. So that's it, folks. That's the bottom line right there. We need to do what we've been entrusted to do by a higher power, entrusted to do by our employers, entrusted to do by our families, entrusted to do for ourselves. And if you get financially literate, I'm telling you, nothing is going to stop you. They can take your life. They can take your wife. They can take your mate. They can take your spouse. They can take your car. They can take your house. They can take whatever it is that they want to take. The one thing that they can never take from you is your knowledge and your education. So let's get smart, folks. Let's get savvy, smoke. Let's get wise, smoke, and let's create generational wealth that's going to last beyond our wildest dreams and imaginations. Working poor, I'm talking to you. Middle class, I'm talking to you. Those levels, those steps that you thought were not there, they were removed because the Republicans have put a slide there instead of building those steps. What I'm here to tell you, we can build those steps back, or we can build new steps right next to the slide. They're not preventing us. They're not hindering us. They're only slowing us down because we haven't grasped the knowledge yet or the understanding that we can move forward with or without. You're either in my way, on my side, by my side, or in my way. Which one is it going to be? It's not that hard to choose. All right, this is a wrap. Thank you for participating. I appreciate all of you. I hope I got some questions because that's what I'm really looking for. I'm looking for a question or two or three. Who's going to drop me a question in the Facebook? I see you out there, Facebook. Who's going to drop me a question in there? Who's going to drop me a question in the YouTube? Because I see you out there, YouTube. I see you listening. I see you hearing me. I see you paying attention. Who's going to drop me a question? You know, all right, that's cool. It's okay. I still got about 8 more minutes, and I'm going to give you a little bit more of what I know. All right, so before I wrap it up, just want to give you some contact details. You can email us at leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. That's leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. I'm super excited to be able to do what I do, and that's why I always ask, please do not hesitate. I know you got questions. Because that's the beauty of when you can give someone this much in-depth understanding, and I know you got questions. So you might not feel comfortable in putting them out there now. Put them out there a little bit later. It's okay. Put them out there a little bit later. It's perfectly fine. That's all right. I don't mind. The website, we use Linktree, and I love Linktree. Linktree allows for you to put your top item, your second item, your third item. It's like a tree. It just branches out, and before you know it, you got all of the videos there. You got all of your great content there. You got some things that you can share with others. It's a great platform. The website is Linktree. That's LINKR.ee. Just type Linktree. It'll come up with its website, and just put Leverage Credit Recovery. That's all you gotta do. Just go to the website, Linktree, type in Leverage Credit Recovery. Boom, there we are. Look at some of those fantastic things that we have there already populated for you. And if you are unsure how to get your credit report, there's annual credit report there as well. Click on it, fill out that information, get your credit reports before they go back to a yearly understanding. You can get your credit report every week. Every week. I keep telling you, credit is the baseline. Credit is the foundation. Stop playing around here, folks. I'm telling you, you're going to be able to capitalize if you want to capitalize. But if you don't, again, you can keep humming and hawing and singing the Negro spirituals, whatever it is. Or you can take the reins and you can ride this horse like you should. Okay? Like you should, like you know better. And if you need to text us or call us, 805-428-9424. Once again, that's 805-428-9424. You can catch us on TikTok. You can catch us on Tumblr. You can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on Instagram. You can catch us on Twitter. We are out there, folks. We are out there to make sure that you have so that you can prosper. You want me to say that one more time? We're here to make sure you have so you can prosper. And if you want to prosper, please take us up on everything that we're offering. Again, I tell everybody, don't just believe the words coming out of my pie hole. Do your own research as well. I've done mine. I'm so certain about the information that I'm giving you, and I've challenged and I've asked anybody, CEOs, CFOs, COOs, it doesn't matter, presidents, vice presidents, it doesn't matter. Come on, challenge me when it comes to my information. Challenge me, put me to the test, because you're going to find out, wow, that guy is smart. That guy is knowledgeable. That guy knows what he's talking about, because I do my due diligence. Not only do I do my due diligence for myself, I do my due diligence for my clients, I do my due diligence for my students, I do my due diligence all the time, because we need to start benefiting from our hard work. We're working hard and we're not seeing any return on our investments. We're not seeing any return when it comes to our banking. We're not seeing any return when it comes to our investing. We're not seeing any return when it comes to our household and how we're managing those households. We're not seeing any investments or return on our investments, almost nowhere. And that's talking again, working poor, middle class. I'm talking to African Americans. I'm talking to Hispanics. I'm talking to those poor white folks who believe that just because you're white, the trickle down economics is going to hit your pocket before it hits anybody else's pocket. Billionaires talk to billionaires. Millionaires talk to millionaires. They do not talk to the poor nor the middle class. They talk about the poor. They talk about the middle class. They talk down to the poor. They talk down to the middle class. They talk at the poor. They talk at the middle class. Well, I think we need to have our conversations about how we are going to make sure that we are included in those conversations, because we're making them richer. We make the billionaires billionaires. We make the millionaires millionaires. Why? Because we don't possess the financial literacy skills that we need to possess to further our advancement. We've already furthered their advancement. Now it's time for us to put some of that back into our own pockets. Do you hear what I'm talking about, people? Because I hope you do. Because if you do, you're going to capitalize. And if you don't, again, like I said, the man is not got his finger on the pulse any longer. The man is not holding you down. It's a lot of rhetoric. It's a lot of noise. It's about you taking the understanding, the responsibility, and doing what you must do to find yourself in a better financial understanding. Compounding your money is a wonderful thing. Compound that knowledge and watch your money compound even further. All right, I talked about compound interest a while back, but as I stated, talking about it is one thing. We need to start seeing actions. As I told my students today, and as I told them many a times already, you can sit here and tell me all kind of beautiful things, but your actions speak louder than your words. Your actions speak louder than your words. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for giving me part of your afternoon. It has been my pleasure. It has been my honor. I love and appreciate all of you. Continue to keep safe. Continue to travel well. I wish you all nothing but the best of days, the best of futures, the best of lives. I appreciate you and thank you. I hope to see you back here on Tuesdays at 6. I hope to see you equally on my also Saturdays program, which is at the Yonkers Public Library at noon, where you talk finance with an expert. It has been my pleasure. My name is Tyrone Glover. I'm the Dress Down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. Be safe, America. Well, I guess, Jasmine, all right, I'm going to talk for a few more minutes because my girl just gave me more time. But it is always, as I said, it's an honor. It's an understanding that I appreciate, and I love doing this. I think it's one of the best parts of my entire day, which is looking forward to this tutor. Not only do I look forward to this, I look forward to being able to help out my students with a little bit of extra tutoring as well. So we are here to do what we need to do for our community, and we're going to continue to keep doing for our community. So thank you for watching. Please tune in again. This is your Dress Down CEO, Tyrone Glover, here from Yonkers, New York, wishing you and yours a pleasant and a wonderful evening. Stay safe, America.